Hello and welcome to MorningFile. I'm your host, Emma McCarty, and today I am joined with Isabella Hoops, the owner of NorthFIRE Circus. So to start, do you want to just maybe explain a bit about NorthFIRE Circus, what it is, what you guys do?
For sure. So I originally started performing circus like over 10 years ago now. And I originally started with my company, Isabella Hoops Entertainment, which is still running. It's, does a lot of family stuff. It's a kids company. And then sort of like, halfway through my career, I started getting into a lot more fire stuff, started doing a lot more collective stuff with groups and realized that, I should come up with another company that really sort of like represents everyone. At that time I had been working with quite a few different fire performers, and we kind of all thought of the name together. And we were like, what would best represent us? And also like, we're all Canadian. Mm-hmm. And so we came up with NorthFIRE Circus.
Yeah. So how did you even, I know you mentioned you had a company before this one, but how did you get into this type of industry to begin with?
Well, I mean, I originally started in musical theater. I've been performing since I was a little kid, and it wasn't until I was about, I want to say 24, I saw some girls perform fire dance at an event, and they were all fire hula hooping. And I mean, at the time, like, I just finished school for musical theater, and I'd been, doing tap ballet jazz my whole life. And I saw these girls dance with hoop and on fire. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing. So I went and chatted with them after the show. And I was like, I want to learn this. How do I join? Where do I sign up? And they were amazing girls. This is back in Edmonton. And they started teaching me stuff. And right away, I just, quickly was picking up on it and learning trick after trick. And this was, back in the day before YouTube. So, really, if you wanted to learn something new, you had to find another hula hooper. So it was kind of a longer process. And, later that year, about a year later, I moved to Toronto. And I was going to school at Ryerson for theater, so focusing more sort of on the classical side of theater. And I met all these people through Zero Gravity Circus. This would have been in 2008. And I met a lovely lady named Igul, who's an amazing circus performer, hula hooper, contortionist from the Chinese circus, and met all these other people within the community. And, everyone just started teaching me stuff. And then the next thing you know, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now I'm getting gigs with the circus. Wait, what's happening?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool though. So you said you've been doing this for like quite a while now. What has it been like working in this type of industry during COVID?
Oh, it's been very interesting. It's when it first happened, I mean, everyone was in shock. Mm-hmm. And specifically in the entertainment industry, we got hit really hard because all events just stopped, and not just in Canada, like all around the world collectively. And I have a lot of busker street performer friends from all over Australia, UK. And so seeing everyone's posts, we were just like, what are we supposed to do? We had some corporate gigs here and there that were virtual. And so we had like a couple of things that we were working on. But I soon realized, especially in the summer of 2020, because there still wasn't a lot going on, like our industry still hadn't really come back. And I soon realized that, there is ways to still do shows, but, you need to be in areas such as this, where there's a lot of space and you're outside and you have a lot of room so that the audience can feel comfortable, and everyone, and, the performers can feel comfortable. Like it's really, really hard to be able to do a show in the city right now. Mm-hmm. So right away I was like, okay, let's try and do a show. So we did one in August of 2020 at Stevenson's Farms. And that was kind of like our first trial. And it went very well. It was super successful. We got it videotaped. And then I started applying for a grant in September, which we got through Canada Council. and that's what's made this summer possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one thing that I've really found just speaking with a bunch of different people is I think in the beginning, people were like, oh, we'll just wait. Things will start opening up. And now at this point, it's more of a you adapt or you get left behind type of situation.
100%. I mean, yeah, right away it was like, and the beautiful thing actually about, even though being in a pandemic and being, completely sort of lost for a little bit and wondering what to do, because I reached out to other people. I reached out to Dr. Draw, who's an old time friend, an amazing electric violin player. And I remember calling him being like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I'm like, great, let's do something, and we had talked about performing together for years. Like, we'd known each other for at least 10 years. And it took a pandemic and us finally having nothing to do to come together and be like, let's create a show, let's make something. And since that, we have been doing so many performances together, and we've actually sort of reframed like NorthFIRE now is like always going to be with an electric violin player. That's just how it goes. And it's amazing to have fire and live music. So good.
That's awesome. Like, a bit of a silver lining is people got a chance to do what they haven't had time to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have a show coming up this weekend. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this is going to be our third weekend now, which is super exciting. We are in Scotland, Ontario, which is just outside of Hamilton. It's about like 40 minutes away from Hamilton. And it's at a friend's property called Circus in the Trees. And it's a really exciting show. It's called Chaos to Calm. And so it's kind of, we're exploring, chaos to calm using, looking through sort of like a thematic exploration of the pandemic. And so we're looking into the 7 stages of grief and how the pandemic has affected all of us. And so it's like we're using this as a cathartic experience. So yeah, through the show, we go through all the 7 stages, but, there's a moment near the end where, of course, there's always that upward turn and acceptance. And I feel like all of us right now, we're starting to feel that, we're starting to feel a sense of relief. And so it's a really beautiful show with a really lovely ending.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so relatable to everything that's going on right now as well. Yeah. So maybe what are you most looking forward to in the show, if you could pick one of your favorite parts?
Probably when we do the fire fans together. The show is fire and aerial. So there's amazing aerialists. So, you're going to see aerial nets and silks and an aerial hoop and an aerial heart and so many different things. But there's a moment where, we all do fire together. And it's really beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think that is all the questions I have for you. Just my last one is, where can people go to learn more about NorthFIRE Circus as well as see the show?
Yeah. So NorthFIRECircus.com. And you just click on Chaos to Calm. It's right in the middle of the homepage. And there's 2 more weekends. We've got Scotland this weekend near Hamilton, and then our last weekend's in Owen Sound. So you can come to either or, and it's 3 shows per weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The doors are at 8. Show starts right at 8:30.
Thank you so much to Isabella from NorthFIRE Circus for joining me today. Make sure to check out their event happening this weekend. All their information will be linked below. As always, for more content like this, you can visit cfmu.ca.